What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm showing you the Street and TOUGE Track Forge kit. This is the brand new kit that's coming out with season 10. We're showing it to you a little bit early. I've recorded this from an early build, and shout out to Ubisoft for giving me access to the game. I really appreciate it. Anyways, let's get into it. I'm gonna show you everything I know. Let's go. All right, when you get into the Track Forge menu and you go to create a kit, you now have three options. You can create a motorsports kit, you can create a coaster kit, and a street and TOUGE kit. And the street and TOUGE kit by far is the best kit in the game. The others obviously serve a very distinct purpose. That coaster kit is meant to be wild. It's meant to have anti-gravity jumps, all this stuff, right? And then you have the motorsports kit, which is supposed to be very specific on track racing. And, you know, it's tailored more towards an authentic racing experience. But the street and TOUGE kit is one of my favorites because it gives you a sense of street racing. It has very good cityscapes and buildings and all these things that I wanted to put in those other kits. Like in the motorsports kit, I wanted to like build a city track, right? And you can't really do that, but in the street and TOUGE kit you can. So let's build ourselves a little tiny track. Actually, we're not going to build a track. I'm just going to go through, you know, all the pieces and talk about what I like about it. So here we go. We have time attack race and two new event styles, the drift trial and the drift path. The drift trial is actually just where you drift and you get as many points as you possibly can within the time limit. You don't have to make the lap. You don't have to, it could be literally just a big square where you can drift around on. That's up to you. But basically you don't have to get to any endpoint or hit any checkpoints or anything like that. The drift path, on the other hand, is that it's a race essentially, but you have to get to the finish line and score drift points. You'll be ranked on your drift points and you have to make sure you get to the finish line. So there's two different event styles here, and you can actually use these event styles in the other kits. So you don't have to, you're not locked into using the street and TOUGE kit with these event styles. These are added to the overall Track Forge experience. So for this purpose, I'm just going to go into drift trial because it really doesn't matter. We're not going to make a full track here. But basically, here's what we start out with. So you've got the starting line here. That's just the starting line. If you're just going to go from point to point, this is just the finish line here. And then this is the like the lap. If you were going to do an actual track with a lap, you would have this guy as your lap timer. Now let's talk about all the different pieces, because they added a bunch of different things when it comes to building here. Now a lot of the pieces are the same. Like the straight pieces, you have various different size straight pieces here in order to, you know, make different length of straights or turns or whatever. That stuff still exists. But what we have differently is the style of some of the like super modules. Now this is a gameplay one. This is a pit lane if you're going to require a pit stop for your races, even though I'm not sure why you would require a pit stop in a drift race or any type of drift trial situation. But if you're doing just a street race, obviously you can do that. Now, as far as the turns go, one thing I like that they added for the turns was they added incline turns. So you have like this one here. Let's see, these are just normal turns. And then you have this incline turn here, which made a big difference in terms, you have up and down. It makes a big difference in terms of like being able to create things that can both turn and go uphill. And it makes it to where you can actually create sort of more TOUGE tracks, which we didn't really have the ability to do that in the previous game. If you wanted a, you know, full-on hairpin style turn, you had to elevate first and then flatten out and make the turn and then elevate again, which is not real flowy. Like it doesn't feel like, you know, a TOUGE track because you're flattening out on a turn. This one has now these the ability to have these banked turns. Now in addition to that, we have some more like S style turns here that are like kind of semi-straight, semi-S turns. You're gonna be able to create a lot of really flowy, really nice things here. Then we have some elevation pieces. This is similar. This is one that we had with the last kit. This one is a more straight elevation, and then we have sort of this curved elevation, which I believe we had with the last one, and then this curve, which I believe we had with the last kit as well. Now, as far as the super modules go, these are great. So as you can see, this super module here has just a very nice flowy, like just S turn all day, every day. I love it. It actually looks really cool. And then you have something like this, which is more of a downhill S turn. And if you want to look at, let me see if I can get a little closer or maybe change the pivot point here. You can change the pivot point so you can see this is sort of an S, like an uphill S turn through some bamboo. Very nice. Looks awesome. Right here we have like a curve. Let me back out so you can see the whole piece. So the overall piece looks like this. Amazing, just really nice. Here's what it looks from this side. You do have a little bit of an elevation change from top to bottom. So you're up here, and then you're down right here. So you have a little bit of elevation change. Very nicely done. For this one here, here's the overall look of the piece. It's got basically, oh, I'm a little bit, hold on, let me raise it up here. So again, nice flowy downhill. You got elevation change on this side. Nice downhill flowy tailgate track. On this one, nice, just like a circle basically. It's essentially a way to make a left-hand turn, right? You'd be going this way, then you make a left-hand turn, or you'd be going this way and you make a right-hand turn, but you've got an elevation change. So it's you know, you go under the track and it's a nice flowy, like basically just a huge drift circle. So very, very good. Then we've got some city pieces. So this is one of the coolest city pieces here with the big snake in the middle of it. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, there's a little bit of a snake there, and I'm going to show you my track too. I included this piece on it. I included a lot of the super modules. So we've got this city piece here, and if you look on this side, you've got a nice like circular like elevation change here at this side. On the next one, we've got just around this edge of the city, basically, if you want to create sort of this another drift turn, basically. It is drifting. This is toge and drift. This one here is just a simple elevation like corkscrew. We have a parking lot. You can add just a basic parking lot. You can do like, you know, this giant parking lot and create sort of a drift area. You can put props and all kinds of stuff on top of this stuff, and it's really, really cool. So that's good there. The decorations are great. You got a lot of trees, a lot of different trees here. Let me see. Elevation change trees, so you can, you know, make sure you put these and make it look nice with your track when it's elevating. Some flat stuff here, more bamboo, lots and lots of bamboo, different styles of elevation changes. So you've got these. This is more flat but smaller, and then you've got some curved pieces as well if you want to outline some of your curves, some of your, you know, your big curvy sections or your drift sections. You got an elevated curve here, another elevated curve going the other way, another even more steep elevated curve, and the same thing going the other way. And then you have these other plants that are like this. The thing I like about these is that you can actually kind of put these trees sort of in between, or, you know, clipping through some of the roads. So like if you put, let's say, this road here, this is a weird situation, but we're going to try it anyway. And then you can actually clip this. Let's see if I can drop it down here. So some of this stuff like this can clip through, and you can create sort of these barriers or these visual, sort of the visual, you know, things to go around or things to drive through. If you're looking to create something very creative, you can get super creative like this. Now, as far as the buildings go, there's lots of like side buildings that you can put on the side of the road here, just to make it look really, you know, really city-ish. So in a sense, you can like line these tracks and make it really feel like a city, which is nice. I did 3 of the same buildings, but you know, this is just a simple showcase of what we got going on. All right, here we can take a look at some of the building styles. So this piece here, obviously the building under construction, sort of just a basic tower. You've got like a radio tower here. You got another one here that has like the smaller hotel building with a bigger hotel building. You've got another big tower here with sort of a hotel or motel looking at the bottom, very cityscape-esque. This one here has elevation change, as well as this one. These are meant to just have these same buildings, but on elevation changes. This one, well, you can run a street on underneath it or in between it, which is awesome. This allows you to put a bridge over the street and have buildings on either side. You got another one here that's a little bit of a heftier bridge with that advertisements on it. And then you've got sort of this rounded edge to it as well. So if you want to put like, you know, buildings along a rounded street or a corner, you can. Same thing on this one and this one. So you have these this 3-pack of giant buildings. You have another 3-pack here. This one has 4 on it. This one has like 4 or 5. So you like definitely can fit the style that you're looking for. All the buildings have like very similar advertisements and similar looks to them. So it kind of gets a little bit redundant over time, but you're not going to be using like all of these all in one, right? These are specific to like elevation. So like this is the same. Let's see, this one right here is basically the same as this. It has the same buildings in it, but this one has an elevation change. This is the same as that other one, but this one goes elevation to the other side. This one's a steeper elevation. This one's a steeper elevation. So it just has a wide variety of ways to mold it to the track that you want. Now here's where I really like this stuff. This is the gameplay assets. There's a whole bunch of these. But basically you have these platforms, you have circles, you have these elevated platforms, you have these larger ones, you have walls, you have just, you know, these tall walls, you have the short walls, you have the rounded walls, you have these holes, these circles here. This is all for like if you want to create like a drift playground, or if you want to add this to your regular tracks, you can. You have the cylinder ones, you have these things that you can go above, and you can, you know, drive on top or underneath. You have these boxes, you have jumps that now you can add into this thing now, and all of this stuff in the gameplay assets clips through everything, I believe. I don't know if it clips through the super modules. Let me see. It clips through everything. I was right. You can clip these gameplay assets through anything you want. So if you're like over here trying to create, you know, this uphill jump situation, you have the ability to sort of put it where you want. Now this obviously is going to go right on it, but if you wanted to go down just a little bit more and put it like a smaller version of the jump like this, you can do that. So now you have like the ability to create these sort of you know, I don't even know, you can do shortcuts like this. So you have a little jump on the side over here and rotate it, and you can like jump, you know, make a jump through and get rid of this building here. And then you have like, you know, your track goes through here instead of straight, or you have, you know, you can put shortcuts. The ability to clip all of these gameplay assets, anything in this gameplay asset section is just amazing. But let's go through some of the other ones. You have different style ramps, you have shorter ramps, you have more steep ramps, then you have some like half pipe style ramps, which you can really go nuts with. Just basic straight ramps. Obviously you have the arrows as well, so these are back and usable. And again, you can clip these through anything. You can put them wherever you want. You can create barriers or walls or whatever. So that's basically it in terms of the new stuff, but I really appreciate the detail on this. Now the other thing is that if you're just creating something from fast build, if we do like, let's say we do this and we go turn, and then we want to turn back this way, the only thing that I found a little bit limiting is the types of turns that you can do. So like we're only limited to this blue turning, which is basically 90 degrees. This is still a 90 degree turn. This one right here is still a 90 degree turn. This one is still a 90 degree turn. This is a 90 degree turn. It's just like a lot of, you know, 90 degree turns. And so when you only have those options. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 goes up, and then that's, you know, basically it. So you kind of have, you're very limited, and they're all 90 degree turns. I wish we would have some access to some of the more like in between degrees on the turns, but outside of that, it's not that bad, because a lot of the stuff you're making is very flowy, and it makes it easy. 90 degree turns make it easy. All right, now that we've seen the pieces, let's go ahead and go through my track that I created. This one you guys are welcome to play. It is going to be in there from the update. We did this ahead of time a few months ago, and this is a track that I'm very proud of. This is one that has several shortcuts in it. There are things that you can discover while playing this track, and I do plan on rewarding the top 3 people at the end of season 10. The top 3 people that have the fastest times on my track are going to get CC packs courtesy of Ubisoft. So definitely go out and grind this track. All right, the car selection is limited to Street to Japan. So you got to have a Street to Japan car. Let me see if I have a Nitro Chemist set on. I do. Okay, let's go ahead and drive this. Hopefully it's been a couple months since I drove this track, but anyways, I'm not going to show you all of the cuts that are in this race. We're just going to drive through it and just enjoy the beauty that is the TOUGE kit. All right, we're off. Hopefully I can drive this. I'm going into the wall. Oh my goodness, this is actually a race though too. It's not a drift. It's beautiful with the cityscape here. Okay, into the snake module here. We got this big sweeping long spiral thing here into the city kit. These are both super modules, or this is one big super module, I mean. And then we exit this into the small parking lot here, in which case you're going to go right and up the hill. Now don't mind what says checkpoint missed. You didn't miss a checkpoint when you get here. The checkpoint happens to be at the top of this spiral. In this case, it's right in the middle. But when you hit the checkpoint, it stops saying checkpoint missed. For some reason, it's just a little bug. They'll probably get that fixed. All right, into the uphill S section. And then a nice little right-hander as well here. Now this, again, I'm just driving it normally. I'm not... Oh my gosh. All right, I hit the curb there. All right, then we open up into the pit stop, which, by the way, you don't want to do that. I just wanted the cityscape here. Into the cherry blossoms. This is another super module here that goes around this little city area again. And then we have more cityscape here for you to enjoy. Now, this track may not look like much, but it is hiding things. It has secrets, and I want you to find them. And then we finally finish up with a very tight back-to-back hairpin section. This is also a super module, by the way. This is one of the ones I showed you here. Finish line is right here. Now, I've set the time for 3 minutes. But as you can see, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, just driving it normally, not really sweating it out too much. And 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'm interested to see what type of time you guys can get. I'll probably let it run for a little bit before I actually go out and sweat the track and give you an idea of what's actually possible on the track. Obviously, you guys are going to end up beating me, but it is what it is. Anyways, that is it for the TrackForge showcase. Hopefully you guys enjoy this kit. This is one of my favorite. This is for sure, I should take it back, this is for sure my favorite kit in the game. It definitely allows for some really pretty good track layouts. So anyways, have fun with that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.